Sometimes I think The View only exists for conservatives to clown on them, because I find myself watching them pretty much every day because of the treasure trove of content that they bring. So with that, they had Dylan Mulvaney on, talked about kids and gender theory, and I think the audience and maybe even some other hosts got a little squirmy in their seats when they were talking about it because everything they said was pretty much a lie. Take a look.
Can I just tell you something? So the first transgender person I met is Rigo Ross-Leighton, and he's the son of a very conservative Cuban-American Republican Congresswoman, Ileana Ross-Leighton, who was in Congress representing Little Havana when Rigo transgendered. And everybody supported it because I think people know and respect when you put love above anything else.
Yes,
Yeah.
1,000%. And I will always lead with joy. And I think that's what the book is really queer
It's
joy.
joyful.
Thank you.
Yeah, joyful. Joy. Where have I heard that before? Maybe somewhere in the last year, 6 months, and that didn't go well. Castrating young children, not joy. Lying to them, not joyful. And I think that's what they're talking about here, and I think it's an egregious lie that they're saying. I think this is something the left talks about, not just about the trans subject, but about everything, is they take these very untrue things, and they know that it's unfeeling and anti-human and anti-God, and they flip it, and they say, well, we know that people who are going to combat us are probably Christian, and we know that those Christians believe in charity, which is, of course, the pure love of Christ. And so we're going to combat this by saying it is love. That it is love if you're encouraging a child to change their body for life. And it's compassionate, it's loving, it's good. When in reality, it's cruel. It's the exact opposite. I actually don't think that's the worst lie, though, that she says in this, and I think this is this is the reason I'm talking about it today. The worst lie that this lady from The View says, I forget her name. I forget all their names, honestly, because they're one and the same. They're a hive mind. They believe practically the same thing, except for like one of them, which is like slightly right-wing, but really not, because she even agrees with the trans issue sometimes. It's crazy. I don't know how you call yourself right-wing, but believe in this stuff. In any case, the worst lie, that's at the very beginning. She says everybody supported it when talking about her trans friend. Guys, this is an 85-15 issue. So when she says everybody supported it, it's an outright lie. Nobody supports this. Almost nobody. Only the most progressive, the white Karen liberals. I'm sorry to stereotype it, but that's how it is. The white liberal ladies are the ones who support this. Everyone else knows it's clearly evil. It's clearly a grift as well. Everyone knows this by now. This is not a secret. This is why it's so stunning. They're so blind to it, willingly, of course. But it's such a grift from the gender surgery industry, which is exponentially growing, like 4x in the last few years. It's crazy. But the reason I point out that this is a lie, that not everybody supports this, is we cannot let it even seem like the mainstream for almost a moment, because I think that is why it gained so much steam back in 2020. Obviously, there was a big kind of progressive movement with BLM and COVID going on at that time, but people allowed it into the conversation for too long. I'm not saying we can't talk about it. I think we should talk about it, but we can never let it look like it's mainstream. I think kids should walk down the street and see a transvestite in the street and be like, that's weird, because that's what happened to me growing up. I know I grew up, 4 years before gender theory became kind of a big thing. And when I say grow up, I mean I was in high school. So a lot of you know better, but I walked on the street in downtown Salt Lake, where I grew up, which is a very conservative place still, relatively, compared to downtown, San Francisco or Seattle, where you see this stuff a lot. And I would still see things like this occasionally. And I would turn to my dad and I would say, that's weird. And he'd go, yeah, that's weird. Stay away from those people. Let's get back to that. And I'm not saying we should hate the people. Kids shouldn't look at them and be like, I hate them. By the way, no kid does that. Kids don't just hate people randomly, but they think people are weird, and they should. But to see it, again, not to hate people, but to see it for what it is, super weird. It's very weird. And that is how non-mainstream this should be. It really is. I just don't understand why we would even entertain it for a moment. I think we're moving in that direction, but I think we have to call this out when it is there. When people lie, they say it's normal, and everyone supports it. We got to stand up and say, actually, that is not true. This tax season, don't forget to file your taxes because you can actually make a lot of money. I've partnered with a business that hates the IRS as much as you do, so they fight to get you every dollar back possible. Quick Tax America. Quick Tax America has already gotten its average tax return of $3,000 back, and it's only $69 to file your return with them. It's a completely transparent price because it's their only price, no matter how complicated your taxes are. They do all the work for you. All you have to do is simply upload your files, answer a few basic questions, and schedule a 15-minute finish your return call with a tax professional, and they do all the rest. So go check them out at quicktaxamerica.com, or you can go to the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, go down below, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and watch another video.